Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Road to Exchange. I'm Todd Rosenbluth of TMX VettaFi, and the Exchange Conference kicks off on March 23rd, just coming up. I'm excited to be joined by Neil Bage of Shaping Wealth. Neil, thanks for joining me.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me and for talking about what's coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, so before we get to talk about Exchange, I'd love for you to give some background on Shaping Wealth, how it defines a human-first approach to financial planning.
Man, what a great question to start with. It's actually a bigger question than maybe one would think. But, so Shaping Wealth, we work with financial planners, financial advisors, financial professionals all around the world. I think we have clients now on nearly every continent. And we work with advisors on, to use your phraseology here, the human first side of financial advice. What does that mean? It's an acknowledgement that at the heart of our relationships, there is a human being. And that human being is going through life, they're waking up and they are doing the best with the hand that life has dealt with them. And they are dealing with a whole bunch of other things, as well as a meeting that they have with us regarding their financial plans or their investment strategies or whatever that may be. And I think sometimes, Todd, we rely too heavily on the labels we put on people, client, investor, whatever the label is. Labels typically come with instructions. And so this approach that we take at Shaping Wealth is to say, look, we need to recognize that at the heart of our relationships is a human being. And if we remove the barriers and we welcome in the human being, warts and all, the dynamic shifts, and ultimately the benefit for the client and for you as the financial professional sitting on the other side of the table are dramatically improved. So in a nutshell, it's all about recognizing that we are all human first, and then maybe client, investor, or whatever the word is, second.
So as a human first, but not an advisor, I'm still excited for your session. You've been at Exchange in the past. In fact, we met there last year. How is this year's Exchange presentation going to be different?
Well, last time, Todd, I had the privilege of being one of your keynote speakers, and it was amazing. It was such an experience, professionally put on. The crowd, the audience, the advisors, whoever was in that room was so engaged and welcoming and warm, all that stuff. But it was a talk. It was a keynote address. So I was talking about, the guidebook for human advice and the 6-stage model that we've created. And it was pretty much me just talking to the room. Yes, there was conversations afterwards, but like any keynote address, it was just me talking. This time, it's time to roll our sleeves up and kind of get our hands dirty. So it ain't a keynote address. This is a 2-hour workshop that we're running this year. Myself and Shaping Wealth's founder, Brian Portnoy, the pair of us are going to go into a room with all the people who've registered. I think we have a couple hundred registered. And we are going to do a hands-on workshop on how to build a human-centric wealth culture. And it's not going to be show up and listen to Neil and Brian. It's show up, get your pens and papers and keyboards ready, because we're going to do some hard work for 2 hours. And so I'm really looking forward to it, because we love the opportunity to literally sit down with people and help them work through, case studies and questions and get their brain into I really need to think about how I apply this to kind of mode. So different to the keynote speech. If you show up for this, you're going to do the work, but trust me, you are going to leave feeling so much more enriched and maybe just a bit smarter because of it.
I'm confident that those advisors in the room are going to be much smarter. Now, a lot of what we're also talking about with advisors is the next generation of folks that they should be working with and talking with. How do those long-term connections that you were talking about play into that?
This industry has been in a transition, and there was a noticeable shift from people being a customer to becoming a client. And I think we're in another transitionary period, Todd. I think, is it coaching? Maybe there's a question mark after that. I don't know if that's the word, but I definitely see a shift around the world that people I talk to, that what got us here isn't going to keep us or sustain us going forward. We need to pivot in the way that we engage with the people that we are here to serve. And it goes back to the first question about, recognizing that we are dealing with humans, and the kind of the generations coming through, it's all they've ever known. Look at the way they engage with the world. It's a very human-centric kind of world that they have grown up in. So we can't ignore that. And I feel like if we embrace that and we recognize that at the heart of everything we do as a human, when they come to us, if that's the mindset we embrace, that landscape won't feel alien to them. It'll feel welcoming to them. And therefore, they're more likely to engage with us and end up having meaningful, more deeper relationships.
So I know advisors are going to get the benefit of coming to your session. How are you connecting with the audience?
This isn't going to be Neil and Brian stood on the stage and then asking people to do work and just sitting, sipping our coffee. We're going to be sitting on tables with people. We are going to be doing the work with people. And the way that this is set up is it's not going to be sit in almost like theater style. These are round tables where everyone will get to meet each other. So it's kind of like a cohort-based learning experience. It's all about experiential learning, doing the work, not just listening to us talking, but doing the work. So I hope that as this session pans out, and when people leave this session, yes, they'll have heard from us, and yes, they will have things that they can do immediately within their business. But we're hoping that the relationships that they form in this 2 hours, where we are getting people to work together, will open up kind of relational doors, if you like, and hopefully forge deeper relationships with each other and not just the kind of the Shaping Wealth team.
Well, I love that because the Exchange Conference is built on the community, the financial services community. They're going to come together. A subset of them are going to come together in this workshop, this hands-on workshop with you and the team. So, Neil, thanks a lot for chatting with me.
You're very welcome. Looking forward to seeing you soon, Todd. Take care.
Same here. So, folks, if you're not registered for the Exchange Conference that's coming up at the end of March, there's still time to do so. Please visit our website for more information. We'll see you soon.